Peace and love, everyone. Namaste. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot for being here live and for joining us later in the recording when we meditate together, whether we're actually in each other's presence physically, which we're actually not even when it's live, makes no difference because the energy of the divine is timeless and transcends and unites us wherever we are. And this morning, I have something from the Toa Te Ching and the chapter 71. And I'm reading from the translation by Whittier Benner, The Way of Life According to Loa Tzu. That's what the Toa Te Ching means, the way of life. This is number 71. And we're going to talk about this. I have changed the patriarchal language in here and made it, gender-free. A person who knows how little they know is well. A person who knows how much they know is sick. If, when you see the symptoms, you can understand, then your cure is quick. A sound person knows that contagion makes them sick. And before they catch it, and before they catch the illness, their cure is quick. Basically, if they avoid the problem. So back up to the top here. Wisdom, I always write stuff in the morning and I have a little teleprompter up there. Wisdom is knowing what one does not know and saying so. Here's another translation of 71. Knowing that you do not know is best. Not knowing that you don't know is illness. Knowing that you do not know is superiority. Not knowing this knowledge is defectiveness. Recognizing one's own ignorance is a form of wisdom. Recognizing one's own ignorance is a form of wisdom, especially in matters of wisdom. Acknowledging what you don't know is a superior form of knowledge. And I know that sounds contradictory. While not realizing your own ignorance is a flaw. The ignorance of one's ignorance is ignorant. Or as Mark Twain put it, I was gratified to be able to answer promptly, and I did. I said, I didn't know. If you don't know, say so. In noetic matters, this is important. Don't pretend wisdom that you don't have. When I read this originally, way decades and decades ago, I thought, well, how can I put that into practice? I know, I said to myself, I can put it into practice by admitting when I don't know something, even if it makes me look ignorant. That's a whole lot better than suddenly seeming to be arrogant. Have you ever met a person who, when they're in the room, always knows or believes maybe that they're the smartest person there, and that when some question is asked, they need to have all the answers, even if they don't, because they're afraid that they won't be thought as powerful or smart or capable? Now, Lao Tzu is teaching us that actually wisdom is the opposite of that. And when we don't know, we just say we don't know. There's no shame in that. Maybe if you remember back to your high school or college days, when sometimes one person in the classroom was always raising their hands and always asking the question, admitting their ignorance, essentially. That person got the answers that they needed by admitting their ignorance. And how does all this work? It's a form of humility. It's a practice of humility, but it's not an outward humility. It's an inward humility. It's the humility to admit to oneself that one just doesn't know the answer. And the dangers of this, well, when someone thinks that they're the best and they know all the answers, well, they can lead an entire population into falseness if they just pretend that they know when they don't. And that happens in finance and politics. In spirituality, it has its problems too. Because in the realm of spirituality, when one pretends to know everything, then it just shows a person, it reveals they don't really know much. In the process of learning to step aside from oneself, to dissolve one's attachment to one's own egoic self-understanding, one's own self-importance, admitting that you don't know to yourself is the first step. That's where the humility lies. Knowing that you don't know and admitting that to oneself. Letting other people know if they know. Community wisdom is greater than individual wisdom pretty often. So, what don't I know? A lot. I don't know a lot. I know tiny bit. Spiritually, intellectually, educationally, all that stuff. I just know a super tiny bit. When one compares oneself to infinity, then one knows how, when oneself is compared to infinity, when one is set in the midst of infinity, one knows how tiny one is, how minuscule one's knowledge and understanding is. But in terms of spirituality, that's totally fine, because none of the knowledge of the divine, none of it in its fullness, can fit inside the human brain. Fractals of it can, for sure. Portions of it can. Reductions of it can. Tiny amounts of it can. But knowing everything is just impossible. But knowing the divine, unspeakable, that's totally possible. As Lao Tzu also wrote, those who speak do not know, and those who know do not speak. It can't be said. And so what's the point in pretending that you know everything when you don't? I'm going to quote one more. I can't remember who said this, but there are the knowns, the known knowns, the unknown knowns, and the unknown unknowns. There are the things we know, there are the things that we know that we don't know, and there are the things that we don't know that we don't know. Best to know that. Peace and love. All right, so thanks for gathering here this morning. Hey, Sean, welcome. Early morning out there in Utah. Thanks for joining. Very simple meditation this morning. We've been doing just what it amounts to relaxation response meditation or centering prayer practice a lot in the past few days. Here, remember that when you access the divine inside yourself, it has an energy that exudes from you, from us, and shares between us. So the deeper we each go, the deeper we all go. I've been showing you a simple breath of in the nose and down to the navel and back up again. Let's shake this up a little bit today and breathe into the heart. From the heart to the third eye, heart to third eye, heart to third eye. We'll begin with the root. We'll start way down low, work down there, and then we'll go from there up to here for a bit. Just get these two connected, and then back down to the root again and back up. And I'll let you do it on your own. And if you're just joining us today, it's super simple. Have a mantra, lock it to your breath, and when your mind wanders, come back to your mantra, your chant, your prayer, locked with your breath, and just keep coming back to it. When your mind wanders off, don't try to chase it down, just come back to it. I'm going to be using some compression in my diaphragm and in my pelvic floor to drive my breath up, very controlled and slow. All right, thanks for being here. Hey, Roger. Apostle Paul said, the wisdom of man is foolishness. He did say that. This is what he's talking about. That's what Paul was talking about. Thank you for that, Roger. All right. See, there you have it in Lao Tzu, and you have it in Paul. Same. It's an American Sign Language. Same. Means, yep, it's the same. All right. Breathing in. Three ohms. Just to settle in. Into your root, down your spine, relax. Up to your third eye. Down to your root a few times. On the next round, breathe into your heart, to your brow. Out to your brow. Down to your heart chakra. Feel the center of your chest. Back up. Pause. To the heart. As you breathe from your heart to your third eye or crown, you may feel a little disconnected from the lower part of your body. It's okay. I'll get back to it. Lift up your heart. Now down to your root. Stay there. Press. Release. of the healing energy. Relax all your muscles one by one. Peace and love, everyone. Hi, Catherine and Dana. Peace to you all. Let me know if you felt any energy between all of us today. Blessings on all of you. Thanks for joining me.